ओके। um, स्ट्रीम चालू हो गया है। लेट मी चेक द थंबनेल एंड एवरीथिंग। ओके, हो चुका है। So what I'm gonna do is पहले मैं शेयर वेयर कर लेता हूँ। Shit, I'm muted. Hi Manas, welcome to the stream man। मैं ये बोल रहा था कि um, is it Manas or is it Manas? If it's Manas, chat में M AA करके लिखो, and if it's Manas it's MANS, right? हम गुजराती लोगों में people मानस का है यार। इस हमारे इसमें मनस भी नाम है, then there is मानस as well। There was someone जिसको मुझे लिंक भेजनी थी एंड आई कांट रिमेम्बर मुझे किसको लिंक भेजनी थी। ओह राइट या। मैं म्यूट करके बैठा हूँ यार इतनी देर से, मेरा माइक एंड आई एम लाइक टॉकिंग एंड टॉकिंग एंड टॉकिंग। Okay, this is a private blend as in like I'm going to share the formula, but I'll also add some I'll also add a few materials which I won't be sharing, I guess, or maybe I won't share um the whole like formula or the numbers. I might share the material I've used. Let's see. I've made a few alterations of this, and they have turned out quite good. This perfume uh, it is not loud per se. Like it mm, won't be a beast mode perfume, but if you were to wear it, it is very sensual, and is it has some facets which I cannot explain to you, but it will so give some sensual effect when someone smells it. It's like sits close to your skin. It is not beast mode, but when someone smells it, it is very seductive kind of perfume. I've tried it a few times and I've altered it a few times. Uh, and today I'm gonna alter it. Date nightish, not really. You can wear it anytime you want. Like, to be honest, you can even wear it in your office, and it is so subtle. Like if you like wearing something which is not loud and which is which is not something like you don't want to bother other people, right? क्योंकि if you go to some office, तो वहाँ पे कुछ लोग पहन के आते हैं, they wear very loud perfumes which bothers everyone. But at the same time, there are some people who want to smell good at the same time but don't want to bother other people, right? So this perfume is that kind of perfume which will last the whole day. Okay, it will last the whole day on your clothes, but it won't be as loud. It will create a very small cloud when you wear it. So if there is someone in your domain, as in like 1-2 feet away, एक feet दूर, then and then only they can smell it. So some people like that kind of sense कि भाई हाँ, I just want to smell good. I don't want to bother other people. So this is that kind of perfume. Why is my mouth so dirty? You can carry it on a date night as well. I mean, if you're going out, it is a very very nice perfume. Like it is very simple perfume. Like if I were to tell you कि it is going to smell like bergamot, woods, and there is going to be some. Why is my hair like that? What is bothering me? No man. Okay, so if I were to tell you in simple words, it is going to smell like bergamot, woody notes, and some amber and ambergris kind of dry down, which is bit salty. If you wear it on your skin, it is going to smell the way your skin smells, as in like it'll smell different on every single other person. So if I wear it, it is going to smell different. If you wear it is going to smell different. So it's that kind of scent. And very honestly, I think it smells pretty good for a perfume which is so easy to make. um so first I'm gonna start with a normal formula, then I'm gonna analyze it and then maybe alter it the way I want it to smell, right? So I'm gonna start. So I'll make it at X-rate the perfume or like 25% concentration. That is still under IFRA limit, if I'm not wrong. Give me a second. Okay, let's begin. I'm not gonna wait for a long time. Is okay. Let's start with bergamot oil. But this smells very very good. Like if someone wears it, I would like it personally, as in it does not have a lot of transitions and it does not have a lot of depth, but it makes you smell good. So if it makes you smell good, why not? So more like a skin scent. Okay, so let's start with bergamot, which is at, I'm making a 1 gram batch, which is a very small trial batch. I'm not going to make 8 grams because I would be wasting a lot of raw material here because raw materials, each raw material is at a very high concentration, and you know, if I keep making trial batches, I'll be wasting a lot of material. So I'm gonna start with a very, very small, like 1 gram batch, which is like what 1.5 ml something 1.4 ml something. So we have 0.5 grams of one more drop, that is 4 5. Yeah, perfect. This is bergamot, which is at 20% of the whole juice. So basically meaning if whole juice as in like the concentrate. So if I were to make a large batch of this, or a 100 gram batch, it would be 20 grams of, sorry, did I say 1000 grams or 100? If I were to make 100 gram batch, it would be 20 grams in 100 grams of batch. So bergamot done. Then we have iso e super, which अबे tare हो जाए यार क्या है हाँ, which smells like ambergris, woody. It is very transparent, and this is the like core material which smells different on everyone's skin. So if you smell it on someone else, it is going to smell a bit different. Not by a huge margin, but it is going to smell different. It creates a very sensual, soft, woody kind of vibe, which is also velvety. It is soft. It is not on your face. It's very sensual and nice. So we have that at 0.075 grams. That is roughly 30 grams in 100 grams of formula. Okay, 0.73, and stop there. ISO E super done. Then we have vanillin, which is diluted down to 20% right now, and it is 0.12 grams, which roughly equals to, give me a second, which roughly equals to 10 grams in a 100 gram formula, roughly 10%. So it is 0.125 grams. Two more drops, I guess. Okay, I would need one more. I'm gonna overdo it slightly. Yep, overdid it by a margin, by a small margin, I mean 5%, I guess 7%. That's fine. It's okay. 0.125 karna tha, but I did 0.135. That's fine, completely fine. Now we have Cedar Amber. This is also kind of similar to ISO E Super, but a bit stronger, bit woody, bit yeah, a bit more woody. It is sweet, just like ISO E Super. But it has some, hi bhaiya. It has some uh, it does not have that ambergris vibe. It has more of a sweet woody vibe. It lacks that ambergris, which ISO E Super has. Or maybe I just can't smell it at 100%, I think. I don't know. This is also 0. 0.075. That is roughly 30 grams in 100 gram formula. One more drop. Okay, that is fine. We did 0.079 instead of 0.075. Completely fine. So it's just a trial batch. It won't hurt. Now we have Ambroxan at 10%, which is 0. Which is 10 grams again in our formula. This is sweet, musky ambergris, obviously, because that's the main thing it has to do, right? It is sweet, very ambery, diffusive. It has a salty marine kind of vibe, like oceanic vibe. If it kind of reminds me of ocean water. Okay. So we have 0.275 grams of this, which roughly equals this is diluted to 10%, right? So 1 second, almost there. Okay, perfect. 0.025, that's perfect. Okay, so accent तो accent कौन से accent भाई? So it does kind of remind me of that, but also at the same time it is very transparent. It is not something which is going to overpower my formula. I, I think that most people are like, oh, I can definitely smell Amrox, and it's like, oh my god. I am definitely 100% sure you cannot smell Amroxan. Most people cannot smell Amroxan because it is so strong. When I got Amroxan for the first time, I could not smell it at all. Most people, oh, I can definitely smell that. No, you can't, bro. Okay, now I have to add roughly 0.425 grams of alcohol in this. English भी अच्छा. 0.425 grams of alcohol. That will make us a 1 gram or 1.4 ml or something like that amount of juice, which I'm gonna test now. 4 to 5, right? One more drop. That's perfect. I'll do one more. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this pipette over here so I can reuse it. Okay, so we are done with the first formula. So it is simple. 20 grams of uh, in a 100-gram formula, all right. 20 grams of bergamot, 30 grams of isoe super, uh, 30 grams of what do we call it? Cedar amber, 10 grams of amroxan, how much, and 10 grams of vanillin. That is 100, right? 30, 30, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, yes. Okay, इसमें यार already. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna use that. Yeah, this one is okay. I'm gonna give it a mix. Quick math, nice. अरे मैं देख रहा था फिर मैंने गलत नहीं बोल दिया ना. That is roughly going to make 600 ml of 625 ml of juice for you if you mix this formula. And make sure you get bergamot oil FCF, which is furocoumarins free. If I were to add a normal bergamot oil, which is not furocoumarin reduced, it is going to burn your skin because bergamot oil is toxic if overdosed. So we need bergamot oil, which is furocoumarin reduced. It is called bergamot oil FCF. Then you have to get uh, amber, which is methyl cetyl ether, which you can get from Global Perfume Shop. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Dark Desire. Okay, I'm gonna dip this now. I think it has mixed well. Hmm. Obviously starts with a like blast of bergamot, but this is going to settle very quickly, all right, because it does not have any supporting materials. So like it is dosed at 20%, right, in the concentrate, not in the perfume. So it is going to disappear pretty much quickly because it is a very high dose, but there is nothing to support it in the background. There are no materials which are going to, boost it. Like, let's say there is no hedione, or there is no top note which is going to, transition to after bergamot. It is directly like bergamot, then there is woody note, and then ambergris, woody notes, all that, and vanillin. How do you determine which notes require supporting compounds and which? It's not like that. Look, you don't determine it per se, but like it's like, let's say if I'm making something, all right. So if I do something at a certain amount, right, it has a certain evaporation rate. All right. So let's say if I do something at 10% in a formula at 10%, okay. So it has a certain evaporation rate. So it is going to evaporate, right? But of course, if I dose it at 20%, it is going to last a bit longer because it is dosed higher. But that does not mean it is going to last for ages. Bergamot will last for like 70 hours, I think, on a strip at 100%. So I'm just dosing it at 10%, so like 10 or 20%, and that is also diluted down to 2% in a perfume formula, right? So that is the math. Ki if I'm diluting it to 2%, it is not going to stay for that long. But I think bergamot does last a bit longer, if I'm not wrong. I forgot. Wait. Bergamot oil FCF. Okay. No, it does not last for 70 hours. It only lasts for 4 hours on a smelling strip at 100%. Which I think is wrong because it does last a bit longer than that. I'm pretty sure it does last long. Because I remember testing it and I could smell it after 24 or 25 hours. I might be wrong. I don't remember. Yes, by their element, they last shorter or longer. So let's say if I'm adding, ISO E super, right? For example, let's take ISO E super and then we'll do bergamot, right? So if I were to do, yeah, a second. Okay, so let's just say I'm making something, all right, and I add bergamot oil to it, and mm, I add ISO E super to it. So ISO E super by nature is a base note. So even if I do dose it, it is still going to come after bergamot oil because it is by nature a base note and it takes the evaporation rate of it is very slow, right? So it is going to pop up after some time, after bergamot oil, basically. So by nature, जैसे let's say there are some materials which disappear in like 4 hours, 5 hours, जैसे bergamot का है. There are few other materials which take a lot of time to disappear. There are few materials जैसे amrox and it will last 400 hours on a strip. जो 400 hours है और there is also ambrofix which will last roughly uh 1 month on a smelling strip at 100%, right? So that is that. I like this so far. It is not something extraordinary or it is not something which is going to blow your mind. It's very simple structure. Bergamot, woody notes. And then okay, so I was in midst of explaining things, right? So there are some materials which by nature are mid notes. So if you add them in a formula, right, it is still going to act as a like mid note. It is going to come after the notes which evaporate faster, right? They are going to be in the background, but they'll start popping up after a certain period, right? So that's how other materials support the top materials. Like there are materials which support the like there are base notes which support the top notes. Sorry, mid notes and top notes, right? So it's a structure. जैसे आइसो ई सुपर हो गया जैसे हेडियोन हो गया इट इज़ वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट मटेरियल बट it creates a very radiant aura and it creates a very um, like very smooth mid note. It is floral but it is also very transparent. It is diffusive, so it makes your perfume basically diffuse more. It's very very diffusive. That's why people love to use Hedion. That there is a lot of Hedion in uh, our Baccarat Rouge 540. It has 30% Hedion in it. That is roughly 300 grams of Hedion in 1 kg of formula. So it's a lot in the concentrate, all right, not in the perfume. When I talk about concentrate, I'm talking about the perfume oil. I'm not talking about the perfume. at 20%, it is a lot. Then there is Amroxan as well. It has 200 grams of Amroxan, which is insane. It's 20% of the whole thing. That's why Baccarat Rouge 530 is one of the most diffusive and most transparent and radiant perfume, because people think it is heavy. It is not. It is so transparent because Amroxan, Hedion, and um Ambroxan, Hedion, and what do you call Evernil, which is Veramos. Those materials are like very diffusive, and they're not heavy. They're gonna just create such a good sillage, and like they're going to project so well. That's why people like wearing Baccarat Rouge 5 Like people can like you might go nose blind after wearing that perfume. I swear to God, if you wear that perfume, you are going to go nose blind because of the amount of Ambroxan in it. You will go completely nose blind. You won't even realize. You'll be like, भाई ये क्या टट्टी perfume पहन लिया मैंने, मेरे को smell ही नहीं आ रही है उसकी, just because it is so diffusive and it is so heavy in terms of like nose fatigue. Your nose cannot smell some things at certain levels, so it takes time to adapt to it. Your nose is not trained to smell some things like that. It is completely okay if you cannot smell it, but it is so diffusive. I sent out one of my samples to someone. That guy went nose blind in just 10 minutes of wearing it. He could not smell it after that. But people around him, when he went around, and some people told him he smells very good, and he was shocked because obviously भाई उसको खुद को smell नहीं आ रही है. He was like भाई ये क्या बकवास लगा लिया मैंने. But later when he got compliments, right? So they're like कि ओ भाई है तूने पहना है कुछ तो. तूने देखा है तो ना स्ट्रीम करा तो. तूने देखा है तो ना स्ट्रीम कराता हूँ. हाँ. तो it's simply the structure and the notes which we choose is going to decide the factor of how diffusive or like how heavy your perfume is going to be. But since it is like diffusive, more on the diffusive side, right? It creates a huge bubble around you. So some people go nose blind, but it is very transparent. It is not going to be like something like liquid brune or like let's say Khamra or um, some perfume with oud in it. It is not going to be like that. You can carry Baccarat Rouge 540 in summer as well. Yeah, it is sweet. It is sweet because Veramos is sweet. Amroxan is sweet. It is musky. It is sweet, right? There is ethyl maltol in it, which is sweet. There is jasmine sambac in it. Sorry, jasmine absolute, Indian jasmine absolute in it, which is sweet, which is jammy. It smells like jam at some facets of it are very jammy. It smells like jam. It smells like some kind of plum. It is very indolic. It is animalic. So there are a few materials in it which are very diffusive and very long lasting. Jasmine Sambak does 400 hours on a smelling strip at a 100% strength. So that's a lot. So if I were to use, if I were to make a perfume which has materials like that, let's say we are making this perfume right now, this is going to be diffusive, but it is not going to be diffusive in a way which will bug people. It is going to be sensual. It is going to be nice. So this perfume has uh, one of the most diffusive materials out there. There are a few materials which are very diffusive, right? Which is Amrox and Iso Super. These are industry standard materials which are like overused, and like any perfume you see, you'll see Iso Super, Hedion, Amrox, and uh, you go there. There'll be maybe you'll see some Galaxolide. You'll also see a lot of what do we call it? Fuck, I forgot. क्या बोलने वाला था मैं? हाँ, tonalide. You'll see a lot of tonalide in some perfumes. These are very these are very um, heavily used materials because they are not restricted. They're not restricted by EFRA. Like per se, they are not restricted at a very huge amount. So you can just overdose them and like be like कि हाँ भाई कुछ है ही नहीं, because they are not very prominent. If I were to put something like, let's say, Oakmoss Absolute, or maybe something like Cassis Base, which is a top note, and it does roughly 350 hours on a smelling trip at three strip at 100%. It is a top note. It, as in, like, it starts at the top note, it goes into base, and it'll also sorry, goes into uh, heart as well, and it stays there. So it is like mid to top note kind of. So there are some materials which are very diffusive, which are very, strong, even when being a mid note. And so if I were to overdo that, my perfume will completely smell shit. If there is something like, let's say, saffronal, which is so bad to use, it is restricted to 0.1%, I think 0.2%, if I'm not wrong. And on top of that, it is so strong. Baccarat Rouge 540 only has 2 grams of it. Only 2 grams of it. That too at 10%. And it is still very prominent in the top note. It is so strong. 2 grams, as in 1000 gram ke formula mein 2 grams at 10%. That is roughly 0.2%. So you you can do you can overdo things, but they have to be, transparent. They or if you want to create some perfume which obviously has those material like in a prominent note, and there are some other materials which are muting it in some sort of way, like they're balancing it out, that like removing all the sharp edges which that certain material has, you can obviously overdose it. But yeah, 0.2%, yes, it is still very prominent in the top, the saffron note in Baccarat Rouge 540. There are a lot of materials which, if I do overdo, it will kill my perfume. There is tonquitone. Uh, if I overdo this, my perfume would smell like animal skin. Then there are aldehydes, which is aldehyde C F. Okay, I'm gonna short it out. These are aldehydes which are very strong. So these are mostly used at 1% of 0.1% of the formula. Since they're so strong and diffusive, if I overdo these kind of materials, my perfume would completely die. Then there is this secondary butyl quinoline, which is a leathery material, right? It is just 0.5 grams in 100. Yeah, it is 5 grams. Is it 5 grams or? Yeah, it is 5 grams out of uh, 1000 and 1000. That is roughly 0.55 grams in a 100-gram formula if I make 100 grams, and that is 5 grams if I make 1000 grams. That's 0.5%. And if I dilute it again in per ethanol, it is way, way, way less. I'm not gonna do that math. I'm very bad at math. And since it's diluted to 10%, the saffronal, it is 0.002%, something like that, if I'm not wrong, if I'm doing the math right. Because it is diluted to 10% and then dosed at 10 grams, 2 grams. I like this. I kind of like this, but there is some element in it which I am starting to dislike. I'm gonna apply it on my skin. Because this is supposed to be good on your skin. Why does it smell different than I did the first batch? It smells very different when I did the first batch. I think it is because of ambroxan. Yeah, I did not add ambroxan at the time. I think यार इसमें इसमें स्मेल बढ़ गया है. Yeah, I added uh I added cumin yesterday. इसमें थोड़ा सा स्मेल बढ़ गया है, I think. नहीं. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Smell good now. I think mix नहीं हुआ था. पता नहीं क्या सीन. The opening is very nice. It is a bit fruity, but not in a Aventus kind of way, or not in a fruity way. There's some fruity facet to it. I kind of like this. I like this one which has bergamot, icy super, cedar amber, ambroxan, and vanillin. Okay, this is cade oil at 1%, I think, if I'm not wrong. I might do melonal in this. I'm not really sure if I wanna take it in a fruity or marini or like beach kind of vibe. Okay, I have started to smell ambroxan like literally right now because there is no mid note. So Okay, so now I'm gonna start with the second batch, which has uh, one second. So jasmine in mid notes, just a single note. That is jasmine. I'm gonna do this at 25. I think I am going to do it at 20% only because at 25% this has started to smell kind of dense. That is why it smells different because it is not as diffusive at 25%. It was diffusive. See, there are also things which there are also misconceptions which people need to understand. Ki when they say they're selling a X-rate or like they're selling a perfume at 30%, 25%, 35%, 40%. I've seen one with 50%. Uh, so there's this misconception because once you put something in a certain amount, it is not going to smell as good as the original. Or like if you're trying to interpret it, right? It is not going to smell as good just because if you are increasing a certain amount of material at a certain amount of quantity, right? You you cannot smell the facets which were in a low dilution. If I were to smell a material at 10% and if I were to smell a material at 100%, it is going to smell different. So let's say the original perfume is at the toilet, right? So it is at, let's say, 14% or 13% concentration, and somehow some idiot comes in and he makes a formula at 25%, right? So if I'm dosing the same materials at 25%, it is not going to smell the same because वो रेडियंस ही नहीं रहेगा, वो जो उसके जो हिडन नोट्स है वो बाहर ही नहीं आएंगे क्योंकि वो डोज बढ़ चुका है और उसकी स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ चुकी है. तो उसका मतलब है इफ़ यू इंक्रीज like some strength of some perfume, it is ultimately going to mute the sensual notes or like the hidden notes which uh, a material has. So if I wanted to smell, let's say if I'm smelling ambroxan, right? This is ambroxan at 10%. If I were to smell this at 1%, it is going to smell different than 10%. If I were to smell it at 5%, it is going to smell different at 5%. If I were to smell it at, let's say, 100% strength, which is in powder form, ambroxan comes in powder form. If I were to smell it at 100%, it is going to smell different. 100% it is barely smellable. So most people, what they do is when they're working and trying to smell something and they're making trial batches, they make such dilutions at 10%. I have so much less left. मैंने इसका 100 ग्राम बनाया था. No mind. तो एक चीज, there's one simple thing कि if you overdo things, it is not going to smell as good. So I did this at 20% in the first stage. I did this at 25% right now. That's why I think this is kind of muted. And that is why this smells different. It is more ambery and ambroxan is coming out more. So it is on my face. Like literally, I can smell it. Which did not happen when I made the first batch. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this second batch at 20% only, and one second. Let me do a quick math. Okay, done. So let's start with yeah, it is not as good. I was wondering why it smells different. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do 25%. I'm gonna keep it at 20%. Okay, we start with bergamot oil again. This time it's 0.040. Strength is going to be the same as in the materials which we added. Bergamot at 20%, which is 20 grams of the formula, right? Okay, perfect. 0.40 perfect डाला है भाई. I am adding few materials neat because I should have added them. uh I should have added the diluted materials like the 10% पे है, but I'm doing neat right now because scaling it is a headache. 0.60. Okay, perfect. 62. That's fine. It called for 0.61, 0.061, and I did 0.062. That's completely okay, I think. Huh. भाई tear क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Then we have vanillin, which is at 20% strength. 0.1 gram. Okay, vanillin is okay. ISO super का बताना भूल गया. ISO super is 30 grams out of 30% or 30 grams out of 100. This is 10 grams out of 100 vanillin. It smells like vanilla a bit. Okay, overdid it by 10%, but that's fine. That's completely fine. Okay, vanillin is it smells like vanilla, but ethyl vanillin is the material which smells more like vanilla ice cream. I tried that as well, but it did not turn out good. It was way too much vanilla for my liking. Then we have cedar amber, which is again 30% or 30 grams out of 100. 0.063. We had 0.065, 61 in the formula, 0.063. That's completely fine. Completely fine. I don't like it at 25%, so I'm gonna keep it at 20 only. Yeah. Now I'm gonna try to make it X-rayed because if it smells shit, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? We have ambroxan 10% at 0.018 grams. 0.018. Ambroxan is at 10% or 10 grams out of 100 or 100 grams out of 1000. I have, I think I have enough for now, but I'm gonna need a 10% new 10% dilution. Okay, perfect. 0.018. And now we have jasmine sambak absolute. I mean, Sampakita Jivko, which is supposed to smell like jasmine sambak, but it does not. But I still like it. It's green, leafy. Reminds me of like uh, jasmine straight when it's after, like when you smell it after rain. It kind of reminds me of that. It's such a small dose. I highly doubt it is going to. Yeah, perfect. I highly doubt this is going to uh, have a huge impact. Let's see. Who knows? Oh, fuck. I can smell it like literally right now. What the? I have not added any alcohol yet. I have to add some alcohol on it. Is need. I have to add roughly 0.054 ml grams of alcohol in this. Hmm. 0.054 की जगह 64 कर दिया. That's fine. I have not shared संपर्कित का क्या बोलते हैं amount because simply because if I were to make this formula and sell it, I would be selling the whole formula for like giving out the whole formula for free. I can smell Sampakita right now, which is concerning. Yeah, this already smells like the original formula I made, like the original first batch. At 20%, this is more diffusive, like more, it spreads out more because it is evaporating faster, so it has more projection and more CRs. Of course, it is going to last less. It's not like I want this to last a long time because this is supposed to be close to your skin and not something which is loud, super loud. Creates a nice bubble around you. Smells very good. Mm. I could smell Sampakita in that, but अभी it is not very prominent. I think पता नहीं क्यों आ रहा था smell, but इसमें इतना नहीं है. It is subtle. It is there. It is subtle. I like how it smells. It has added a bit floral character. I could have added Hedio and said, I mean, Yeah, it is subtle. It is not going to be on your face. It is nice. I like the dosage. I might I might or might not increase it slightly. Should I try Rose Vardia in this instead? Like let's see what does, since this is a trial batch, right? It is not going to matter much. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 10% of Rose Vardia here, which is a synthetic reconstruction of rose. I'm gonna test that at the same uh, amount I added jasmine sambac in. A very tiny dose. Did it even go in? No. Hmm. Okay. It did not read. My scale starts reading at 0.006 gram. So if I want to do something at a very uh, small dose, what I do is I tear this and I add it. So if it does not read, that just means it is under the limit I wanted it to be in, basically. Let's see how what Rose has to do, like how it changes stuff. Man, I have to get some new strips. I am using my old fucking strips. I've ordered it. इस पे ऑलरेडी कुछ स्मेल है इस साइड पे नहीं है बेटर लेट्स सी व्हाट रोज डज because I am kind of like imagining what it could smell like if I add certain things to it. So maybe I wanted something in the mid. Alright, it did not have anything in the mid. It only had Cedar Amber, which pops up early. Okay, I completely dislike the first version, which had 20% bergamot, 30% ice super, 30% Cedar Amber, 10% Ambroxan, and 10% vanillin, but it was at 25% strength, which is not giving me the character it was uh, giving in the first trial batch or at the 20% concentration. Still bergamot. I have to give this strip a bit more time, so I can start smelling the mid notes. I can pick up Sampaquita. It is there in the background. Sampaquita is more like a top to mid note. It starts popping early because of high. I think it has uh, jasmine. What do we call, some alcohol which is has something to do with. Forgot the name. Fuck. I can't recall it right now. Which is very like transparent material. It has high content of that. Give me a second. Hmm. Oh, Rose has added some nice twist. Oh, I like this. Bergamot and Rose don't really go well if not dosed in a correct amount. 'Cause it starts smelling weird. I personally find it very weird. Bergamot, citrus and rose combo is very weird if you don't do it right. It smells freaking bad. This smells good. I like it. Let me test. It gives some sort of milky note with just some pakata in it. Lactonic kind of note. Yeah. But Rose has actually given it a nice twist, which I think is nice. Definitely smells good. Hmm. I like this as well, which has only uh, but one, two, three, four, five, six materials, which is vanillin, cedar amber, isoe super, bergamot, sampaquita, and abroxan in it. Smells pleasant. I'm gonna try this on my skin as well. Yeah, this smells very different on skin versus you if you smell it on sensitive. This is why most people don't like perfumes which they smelt on a scent strip and then later they bought it and then they try it on their skin because skin chemistry is very different. इसमें मॉइस्चर है ही नहीं भाई. So skin पे there are a lot of materials which smell different on your skin. Number one being the musks, and then Ice Super, Cedar Amber, Vertofix. Even sandalwood materials smell different on your skin. And there is Ebenol, Polysantol, Sandalore, Sandifix or something like that. There's so many. Hindinol, Javanol. They smell different on your skin. Even Hedion has some very slight difference. It is not as prominent as the other ones I mentioned, but yeah, it is there. This has started smelling jammy on my skin. Okay, I don't like this. I personally don't like this. Okay, no. I like this on the smelling stuff, but it does not smell good on my skin. I smelling jammy for some reason. Let me try it again. Because यहाँ पे पहला वाला जो मैंने ट्राई किया है that also smelled jammy and I think it is getting mixed. Yeah. I prefer this at 20%. I don't like the first batch at all, which we made. I do like the second batch with jasmine in it. It smells good and it is to my liking. But that is on the smelling strip. I don't know about my hand yet. I can only smell bergamot right now. Okay. I don't know, reset my nose for a while. Hmm. Jasmine is creating a nice note, and even the rose is nice and subtle, which I like. I kind of like this. I kind of like this. Yes. This second batch, which we did with only Sampokita, it has some milky note to it. I am not liking this. Yeah, no. I like the second one with Rose. Rose is overtaking Sampakota slightly. It is pairing well with Jasmine. Yeah, it is pairing well with Jasmine. No, I don't like this on my skin, man. I loved the first batch on my skin, which only had four materials. What I'm gonna do is, okay, wait. Let's try the first batch again. It has started smelling a bit better. I think I did not give it enough time. Obviously, like 10-20 minutes is not enough. This one is too dense for my liking. First batch we made, it is too dense for my liking. It is there, but it is dense. It is not that radiant and like I quite like this batch which has rose and uh, jasmine in it. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna wash my beaker and we're gonna make one more batch. Okay. ध्यान देना पड़ता है भाई क्या मेरा. Okay, let's make one more batch which is not going to have amroxan and jasmine sambak in it. Hmm, that's clear. So V1 is our batch which we like the most. I'm gonna keep it here. This V1 and this has started smelling better. Needed some time. Yeah, this smells better. I've started liking that as well. I don't like V2, which is this one, version 2. I don't like this one at all. So I'm gonna keep it aside for now. We have two V1s. One is with no sampokita and no rose in it. Second one is with rose and sampokita in it, which smells very good. But this has also started smelling good for some reason. It is started becoming radiant, and like it has started uh, what do you say, projecting. Okay, I think it needed some time, but we're gonna make a batch. I'm gonna give this a dip again for version 2. I'm gonna let it sit here, and then let's make the last batch, which only has what, bergamot, iso e super, vanillin, and cedar. I'm gonna add alcohol first. Oh my god, what the fuck did I just pick up? Hmm. Okay, so we're gonna add 0.72 grams of alcohol. We added 0.730. That's fine. The point 10 is not going to fuck up my formula. If someone is watching this and trying to make something while watching this, please make sure that you give yourself a margin of error of 10%, because you cannot be 100% accurate. It is very difficult to be accurate. So give yourself a margin of error of 10%. That is not going to ruin your formula. Trust me. One more. I'm gonna need a splash here. Okay, we ordered it by 8%. But that's fine. Okay, now we have ISO E super. I found this formula online actually. This is not my formula. I'm just trying to fuck around and tweak it to my liking. It has 0.60, which is similar to it's not enough. Okay, that should be enough. We still did this, overdid this by 9%. So margin of error, margin of error. Remember, you need margin of error. You're not going to be 100% accurate. So right now we only have 4 materials, uh, which are bergamot, isoe super, cedar amber, vanillin. That's all. That's all. And the concentration is at 20%, and we are doing uh, 10 10 grams of vanillin in 100 grams formula. We're doing this in 100 grams. फोन शट डाउन हो गया गाइस, तो स्विच ऑफ तो ही होगा फोन भाई, चार्ज नहीं करेगा, चार्जिंग ते लगाई लो चाहे. Give me a minute guys. Okay, I don't think this is going to turn on, so I'm gonna do is इन चार से लगा जड़ okay, that should be good. I'm gonna do transform fit screen. अबे इतनी गंदी क्वालिटी क्यों आ रही है भाई? What the hell is this quality, man? इतना गंदा क्यों दिख रहा है? Hell no. Uh, I guess we have to deal with this like this only. We have vanillin right now, that is 0.100 grams. I hope camera can capture that. That is 10%. Okay. We are done with vanillin. And lastly, we have soda amber. मेरा फ़ोन ही स्विच ऑफ हो गया कैमरा दल्ला फ़ोन. And we have this at 0.60, 3 drops. Okay, I'm gonna need a lot less. Yup, we're good. 0.57 किया है मैंने. कैमरा कैप्चर नहीं कर पा रहा है ये बिकॉज पता नहीं क्यों. We're done making the formula. We're done with the last batch. We are done. Why is my desk so dirty right now? Okay, so this is the batch. This is the batch which had jasmine and rose. This one is the one which is at 25%. This is, and we are gonna dip in last one, which we made right now, which is at 20% and only has 4 materials in it at 30, 30, 39, 30, 30, and 10% concentration. And this is very transparent because it only has few materials. It is more diffusive than any of the three, actually. This one as well, which I've kept out because I don't like this one at all. Okay, I'll switch the camera back where it was. I don't know why, but the quality has reduced for some reason on this camera. It wasn't this bad. Or am I just overthinking? I'm not sure. Okay, let's see now. This opens up with a lot of bergamot because it has 30% of bergamot in it, which is the last batch. This is the last batch. Has a lot of bergamot. It's 10% more. In the concentrate, alright. 10%. We went from 20 to 30% of uh, bergamot. This does project more and like leaves a good trail. It has a good aura because it is evaporating faster than the other two. I've started to smell ISOE super. Hmm. Hmm. I like it. I can smell Sampakota right now. Like it is very, very prominent. But in a nice way. Not a bad way. I think I could reduce it a bit. I can smell the rose. Red is very subtle right now. It was popping before. This batch has started to smell nice, which had Amroxan in it. But still does not smell the way I want it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reduce Amroxan in this, and then add Sampaquita and Rose in the next batch. I think I'll keep working on this. As of now, this does smell nice, but it does not project. It is very congested and itself. That's what I feel at 25%. I don't know how it would perform on my clothes or anything because I've obviously not applied it. Hmm. But even on this smelling strip, it should perform better, and it is not. So I guess I'm gonna skip on this one at 25%. I'm not gonna do 25%. I'll stick to 20 or maybe 18. But I quite like the smell of Amroxan. Let me smell this side by side. Yeah, Sampaguta is very, very prominent. And I like it. This actually adds a floral depth to this thing. It makes it more likable. Yeah, I quite like this one. This with Rose Wardia, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these two, but I'm gonna dose it in in a in a very small amount. I think probably what I dosed was, I think, two parts. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one part each, as in 1 gram each. Yeah, this makes it a floral, a bit floral. It opens with bergamot floral. It goes into a floral depth once bergamot is gone, and then it starts getting woody, a bit creamy with vanillin, of course. Woods and vanillin go very well together. Yeah, I like it. And then there is, I'm gonna compare uh, the one which I found on the internet, which is in my left hand. This is 30% bergamot, 30% ice super, 30% cedar amber, and 10% vanillin. This is more woody. Of course, it does not have any florals. I can smell cedar amber right now. Ice super as well. Cannot pick any vanillin as of now. It's there, but it's very, very faint. If I had to compare, yeah, I think I would like this, but with a less floral depth. As in, the doses I've done right now, it could be reduced, and this will start smelling way better than this. I mean, it smells nice already, but I don't want to take it in a floral kind of category. It is radiant, it is nice. Or I might just replace it with uh, Hedion. Yeah, this smells nice. This smells very, very good. And this smells very good as well. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trial a few batches with very less Sampakota in it and Rosewadia. I think I'll do half of what I did, or maybe one fourth of what I did. for each. Yeah, I think I'll do one fourth. But I can imagine in my head that it'll smell way better at one fourth of the juice, or maybe half. Even half would smell way better. But I'll take it in a floral category over woody and sweet. I'll push it towards that. Like it won't be floral, but it does kind of push it there. Yeah, this is more transparent. Others like, but this is going to fade away very quickly, is what I feel. It should uh, fade away very fast compared to my version, which also has ambroxan in it. It kind of adds some salty vibe to it. Some muskiness there. Yeah, there is some muskiness in this. It is more subtle. Like, this is a unisex perfume, and anyone can carry this. Yeah, I think I'll do one fourth. I like this a lot. I don't know who this formula belongs to. Hi, Ujjwal. Welcome to the stream, man. I like this four materials formula a lot. But I like mine better. Eh, in terms of the way I want it, of course. The original owner did a very good job at creating this formula, and I quite like this. It's masculine, it is nice. I mean, anyone can carry this perfume, but it's nice and masculine. Well, it is seductive. Somehow it is seductive. I don't know how it does that, but it is seductive. Yeah. And this is my version, which has Sampokita, which is uh jasmine material. This does quite do the job I wanted to do. I'm gonna give it a while. I'm gonna let it rest a bit. Yeah. This is more transparent. It is very easy to carry kind of perfume, but it does lack some depth, like some sort of middle note. It does lack that. And my version, what the fuck? It has disappeared from the beaker completely. What the? Never mind. That's fine. And my version smells a bit different with the materials with sampavita, but it does smell nice. One fourth will do great job. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I would probably do half a gram of, maybe half a gram of rose wadia and a half a gram of sampavita. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna just stick to this version. I like it a bit transparent and the mid. Which one? This is a formula I found online. Uh, it's called the sexiest scent, I think, something like that, or a sexy scent. I found this formula online, which has ISO super at 30%, Seda Amber at 30%, um, Bergamot at 30%, and vanillin at 10%, which does smell real good, like real good. And then when I made that formula, I was like, I can use this as a base and then alter it the way I want it. So I am using it as a base to construct my own formula around it, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some few materials on top of that formula and try to tweak it to make our own version which smells nice. And I think I have done a decent job. I've added jasmine and rose in the mid because the original formula did not have anything in the mid note. And this does add a little transparency in the mid and creates a nice aura. You can like already imagine it, like if someone is wearing it, it's going to be sensual, it is going to be subtle, it is going to be close to your skin in a close proximity. People would be able to smell it when they're up close, but this is not something which is loud. People people would love it when they smell it as when they get close to you. So it is more of an intimate skin scent. which I quite like. Like I always don't want my perfume to smell loud. Some people just like skin sense. They just want to smell good. That's it. So this is that kind of scent. Nothing extraordinary. Nothing. It's not going to have crazy transitions like designers or some other brands, But it's going to have decent transition from bergamot to rose and jasmine. बॉम्बे लोकल ओ भाई कच्चियाँ गीली हो जाएंगे लोग भी. Which perfume is this? It is not similar to anything. It is not a uh, it is not a perfume made by a designer or niche brand. I just stumbled upon this formula online. And I thought, oh, let's try. So I did not do my research on the who it belongs to or like just found it. I took a screenshot and I was like, okay, let's try it. And it smelled nice. So I wanted to tweak it. That's actually yeah. सुगंध तो अच्छी है वो. Nice. So I like this one a lot. Yeah, I am doing that exactly that. I'm using it as a base and like adding materials around it to tweak it and maybe add few more materials, I guess. But I want to keep it close to 7, 8 materials. I don't want to over tweak it. Make your signature. This already seems like my signature scent if I were to wear this. Because it's soft, it's floral, a bit floral, woody, and then in the dry down it has vanilla, ambergris. I quite like it. A Shubham scent, sure. Mm. The original is more woody. It is it is citrusy, bergamot, and then it transitions straight into a woody note, which is also nice. Not bad. No complaints. Mhm. I like this better. I'm gonna stick to this formula. I'm gonna use rose and jasmine and mid. It add some radiance and some good amount of projection and sillage. It is creating a nice bubble as I can imagine it. but I'm gonna keep the quantity very low. These two materials are quite strong. I quite like the woodiness in this as well. This does do a very good job. But I think I want some floral. I might use jasmine or I might use adion. I might add a bit of black pepper in the top, or maybe pink pepper, which is a bit floral, sweet, and spicy. Let's see. I might tweak this and like I could sell this. It smells very good, even for just four raw materials. This has turned a bit sweet. Yeah, I like this. I like this. Yeah. So we are done with the formula. We're done with the formulation. I think what I'm gonna do is tweak it further, slightly, not much, not much. Yeah, not by much. I'm gonna just do 1/4 of what I've added right now in jasmine and rose. Yeah, definitely. I might add some black pepper or pink pepper for top note, because it'll make it, it'll lean it to some spicy bergamot citrusy opening. Maybe it will take it towards what do we say, Aventus vibe. Yeah, I think by adding the jasmine note, it has made it a bit stronger as well in terms of longevity, because I can still smell jasmine. It is dosed very low. I can still smell it. I could still pick up. I couldn't pick up any bergamot because yeah, that has disappeared already. I can still pick up bergamot in this one. Hello. हेलो। हाँ बोलो। कौन बोल रहा है? हम्म। मैं करता हूँ एक्चुअली, मेरा थोड़ा अभी होल्ड पे चल रहा है। हम्म। हाँ हाँ, वो तो करूँगा ही उसका, इसीलिए होल्ड पे चल रहा है मेरा थोड़ा एक्चुअली। मेरा MOQ का इशू आ रहा है, बाकी कुछ नहीं। हम्म। मैं देखता हूँ, बताता हूँ आपको। यस। बॉटल वालों का कॉल आ गया। I can still smell bergamot on this because it has dosed 10 grams higher than what it was in my formula. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reduce the amroxan. I'm gonna keep amroxan at just 2% of the whole thing, which is 20 grams if I make a 1,000 gram batch. That way, it would not introduce too much muskiness and like too much murky, sorry, salty vibe. So I can pick amroxan in this. Yeah, this is more transparent. It does not have any amroxan. This formula does not have any amroxan in it. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll tweak it a bit. Maybe if I do get it right, I'll make a video. I mean, do a live stream. I've already started vanillin in this. This does not. This has vanillin in the same amount, but I cannot smell it right now. I can only smell uh, rose wadia, ambroxan, a bit of isoe super, and sida amber, which was prominent before, but now it's not. I can smell isoe super and uh, rose wadia and sampagata jivko, which is a jasmine material. Yeah, I can smell it more, which is surprising. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do 1/4 of these two materials, and I'm gonna reduce uh, the amroxan, and I'm gonna increase bergamot because bergamot smells quite nice in the opening in a heavy dose. It does smell quite nice. Uh, yeah, this does have bergamot, but in a very small amount, and it is like adding the sampakita is adding a bit of that note, like citrusy citrus with some flowers. If you smell some bergamot with flowers, it smells kind of like that. very natural. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep bergamot a bit higher. Let's see what I do. I'm gonna tweak it. I quite like it right now. Uh, Whatever I've made right now, I quite like it. I imagined it in the morning and I was like, let's stream. Let's try tweaking it on stream. And yeah, I do like it. Let's see. I'm gonna tweak it further. So see you tomorrow and sorry. See you. मेरे को आदत हो चुकी है सी यू टुमारो इन द नेक्स्ट स्ट्रीम बोलने की। भाई मैं इतना बोलता था से 2 3 4 साल, आई थिंक 3 साल मैंने सी यू टुमारो इन द नेक्स्ट स्ट्रीम, सी यू टुमारो इन द नेक्स्ट स्ट्रीम बोला है। आदत सी हो गई भाई। So see you in the next stream. I'm gonna tweak it. If I like it, I might publish about it. I mean, I might make a live stream on it. Let's see. Who knows? This might turn into a bestseller for people who like skin science. Chalo. Bye bye. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Just never join की थी. Means a lot.